It's the one who say listen to the music all the time?
Is he mental?
Mental meaning slow. Was he slow?
No.
He had an accident when he was a kid. Still has a hum in the drum. Plays music to drown it out. And that's what makes him the best.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
One more job and I'm done.
One more job, and we're straight.
Now, I don't think I need to give you the speech about what happens when you say no, how I could break your legs and kill everyone you love, because you already know that, don't you?
Yeah.
The moment you catch feelings is the moment you catch a bullet.
What's up, fellow movie geeks? I'm not dead. I'm still alive. I've been seeing a lot of movies. I've actually been filming stuff. I just haven't been putting it on. But I had to make a video for Baby Driver. That's probably like a little bit of a preemptive guess on your part of how I felt about it. But let's totally unpack it before I give my obvious thumbs up for it. I would have to say I'm a little biased going in. I am a huge fan of Edgar Wright just in general. From his Cornetto trilogy, which was Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then At the World's End, to my favorite comic book movie, which is Scott Pilgrim, which if you haven't seen that, you should totally see it. It blows everything else out of the water, from its total like execution to its use of the actual material, to how it's written, the jokes, the editing, everything is amazing in that movie. Edgar Wright, if you don't know, he is a young English director. He's best friends with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I believe that they all went to college together. They've been doing small films, and he actually got their start on a show called Spaced, which has a really big cult following. Used to be on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is anymore, but if you can find it, you can see the beginnings of everything in terms of how that they're going to become actors and how he's going to become a director. His initial style can kind of be looked at as a little bit like Sam Raimi. He has very quick edits, fast cuts, shots really close to the face, very deliberate like execution, and his writing is also like that. It's very quick-witted. And the overall creativity just oozes in this movie. He has the ability to take the most generic of settings in any type of film, whether it be a cop movie, a zombie movie, an alien film, a comic book movie, or now a bank heist. And his style and his knowledge of film, and he's obviously a fanboy of just the overall genre. He can just put himself in any type of situation and he adapts, and his style just perfectly emulates what is needed. And from the opening sequence of the very first heist, I was sitting there thinking like, damn, he might have found his new genre. And that's not really true, because he can work any genre. I like to see him do like an actual horror movie. Who knows? But I think if you get a chance, go back and watch any of his works, and he's always able to take something really basic and flip it on its head and give you all types of new characters and motifs, and just change up a basic bank heist about this driver who doesn't want to be there, which we've all seen 1,000 times, and he just makes it something new, and you're enthralled from the very like onset. From him to the cast, which when I originally saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this is looking pretty good. This is before I actually knew that Edgar Wright was attached to it. I was seeing like Kevin Spacey, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, John Bernthal. I was like, wow, this has got a really cool cast. And then as soon as I saw it was also Edgar Wright attached to it, I was like, I have to see this immediately, and I did as soon as I could. I hate that the trailer makes everybody look very simplistic in their role, when none of its characters are ever simplistic. There's always shades of gray, and John Hamm and Jamie Foxx are awesome in this movie. They're so good. They have the ability to take just common thugs who you're not supposed to like. You're supposed to just hate them, but they're so charismatic, and they're able to just delve in their character that you see much more layers to them, that it makes you like them. Even though they're on screen doing something diabolical, you're like, I really like him though. He's really funny. He's really, he's really catchy. He's really charming. There's any Edgar Wright movie, there's so many little nuances that you don't catch the first one. You have to watch all of them about 3 times. But there's a really cool moment that I noticed. John Hamm and his female partner, they're like this on again, off again relationship. They both have tattoos on their necks. One says his, one says hers, and it's just like it's never talked about in the film, but it's just a little creative point that if you don't see it, it's just wasted. But there's so much going on in the scene structures, and it's great. The main lead, Ansel Elgort, I've never seen him in anything else besides this, and he's done a couple of like sad movies and like rom-coms, and his portrayal of Baby is awesome. He exudes this innocence about him, that he also has this young brash, but he's so introverted, and he almost never talks, and everybody thinks that he has issues in terms of his speech or his mind, and it's not the case. He's shy. He's super shy, but anytime he's by himself, his personality just explodes. Like any kid growing up, when you're alone and you're watching movies and you're saying the lines to like songs or whatever, it's all there, and you get to see his character slowly progress from this child into a man that starts to make real life choices and decisions, and it's really, as a moviegoer, it was very rewarding. From there, I would like to go into the style of the film. I kind of touched on it a little bit in terms of his fast cuts. This has a very old school car movie feel to it.
Seen this kid move?
For the most part, there are lots of moments in the film where the stunts are just real, with no rigs, no wires, no green screen.
Fun, so fun.
We've pulled off gags in this that I've never seen before.
One of them is 180 in, 180 out.
And that's all completely real. There's no sort of trickery in that sequence.
That's some Oscar shit right there.
I wouldn't say it's nearly as good as Le Mans with McQueen, but it has almost like a Bullet style to it. It's all practical driving. It's all real stuntmen. It's high octane. It's in your face. And if you look at something else that's really that just here recently, a huge car movie, the newest Fast and Furious movie, which feels like a computer editor just threw up on the screen.
It's right under us. Get out the way! Get us out of here! Why are you always yelling?
Where you get almost nothing real in that film, just all about cars, and then you get to just take it back to the studs with a real old school film movie, and it's just, these are the movies that I like, and I hate that this movie will not make the money that it deserves. It will not get the fan buzz that from audiences that it truly deserves, and it most likely won't get the awards that it actually probably truly deserves. And it's almost the same thing that I said about Nice Guys last year, which was just a really good movie that nobody's gonna go see. And I feel the same thing with this. You can throw Fast and Furious 18 of them in space, and there's $9 billion spent, for it, but you get a really amazingly written, directed, edited, acted film, and nobody's going to care about it. One of the other key elements about the film is actually the songs, just in general. Edgar Wright has said that as he was writing the film, he actually had certain songs in his head that he'd heard from his early 20s that he used to think that were really cool, driving songs.
The first song in the movie, which is by the John Spencer Blues Explosion, I heard it when I was 21, and I would listen to that track and I would imagine this car chase. And I couldn't listen to the track without imagining this car chase. So then I thought, I have to come up with a movie that's as cool as this vision that I keep having. So that basically became the movie. So I love action movies and car chase movies, but it was inspired by the music in that way.
And that's kind of where the film lends here and there. There's a really cool conversation with Ansel and John Hamm's character, where Ansel, who always has his iPod on, buds in, he's always listening to music. Him and John Hamm start talking about what's a really cool track, because apparently John Hamm's character was also at one point earlier. He was a wheelman as well, and it was just this really cool moment that they shared, that that they both love music, and that's a really big part in this movie just in general. I mean, it's one of the only films I've ever seen where scenes play out and the entire song plays out. There's no clips and snips and then it jumps back to something else. Every part of the song, every little nuance has a moment in the scene that builds, and you don't see that. That's so much dedication to do something like that, because so many songs have got these dips and lulls, and it's not always appropriate to have them on screen. But he's written it in such a way that every little frame, every little change in the shot works. Not only that, but the soundtrack in general there's so much to love here. From Queen, Beach Boys, Beck, Barry White, and just on and on. It's got classic rock into like a little bit of rap, and it's got everything. If you're a music head, you're gonna really, really like the soundtrack. And obviously my final take here, I think that this is a movie for movie fans. The person that I went with, he's more of your average moviegoer, and when he saw it, he was expecting this action, thrill ride, this and that, and a lot of the little things were lost. In terms of things that I caught, like there's a really cool coffee scene, and it's all one steady shot, and it's all well done, and there's sounds and moments, and there's people talking, and you can learn so much from the character in the movie by watching that. But the average moviegoer is just going to see it as him going to get coffee, and it's annoying that things like that aren't going to be cherished for everybody, and it's just like a handful of us can look at the entire scene and the background and what's going on. So I think that it'll be liked, but only us, movie heads are really just gonna love it and just want to go see it again, which I'm planning on doing again, because I would really think that there's probably not gonna be anything else like this the entire rest of the way. There's no generic action BS here. There's a very well-written script, well-directed, well-acted. You should go and check it out. You should stop watching this and go watch it right now. All right, folks, till next time, it's the Geek and Thought. Next week, I will be hitting y'all with my mid-year movie roundups, all the films that I've seen and what I think is currently on my top of my list and what is on the bottom of the list. No surprise, probably Belko is probably down here, and Baby Driver's gonna be up here. But I still have yet to see Spider-Man, and I'm gonna try and see a couple more before I actually put that together. So until next time.